If you could have a drink with anyone in the theater world, who would it be? I'm Anthony Caporale, and I'm running through my list. Each week, I'll sit down with cast members, bartenders, and personalities from New York's theater district and get a behind-the-scenes look at what it's like to live, work, and play on Broadway. Come have a drink with us on Broadway Bartender. Welcome to Broadway Bartender. My name is Anthony Caporale. Today we're going to be making two drinks made famous by Ernest Hemingway because we're going to be discussing shows that take place in France and also Latin America. Nobody combined those two regions better than Hemingway. So we're going to start with a drink. I also think this one's particularly appropriate for the first show that we're going to be talking about, called Death in the Afternoon. Now, he often gets credit for inventing this drink, but we definitely know that it was named after one of his novels. And the main ingredient in this drink is absinthe, which most people think is still illegal, and just so you know, it's not. And you can actually buy and make absinthe here in the United States and also lots of the rest of the world that has wormwood in it, just like they used to make it hundreds of years ago. We're going to start with 2 champagne flutes, and I'm going to add 1 sugar cube to each of the flutes, and then I'm going to add 1.5 ounces of absinthe. And this is part of our French connection. And I'm going to top it up with some champagne, some French sparkling wine. Almost right to the top. You always want to leave a little bit of room for the bubbles to carry that aroma up to your nose. And then we can take our absinthe spoon and just give it a little bit of an agitation. And there we have our Death in the Afternoon for our special guest, Jennifer Sanchez of Sunday in the Park, yes?
Yes, exactly. This is like life in the afternoon.
This is like life in the afternoon.
So it's the opposite.
So, cheers.
Salud.
Salud.
Cheers.
So you can at least
So
give
beautiful.
that. Thank you. Isn't the color on that wonderful?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the bubbles. Never hate bubbles.
Oh, and so what you get out of that is, in addition to the nice champagne aroma, you get that absinthe.
Delicious.
Yeah, which is...
I already feel it.
Yeah, it's like licorice, which just gets up underneath all the grapiness and the champagne. I just think it's a great drink, and then the sugar kind of sweetens it up.
It's beautiful. So,
I am so excited because I'm a
Thank you.
huge fan of this show.
you.
Tell me about it. How did you get started with it? How long have you been in the show? I want to know everything.
it's a limited run, so we actually have 1 week left. So kind of in that mourning the loss of it already.
Ugh.
But it's really been so special. And it's like one of those things where you're in it and you realize what it is when you're in it. So I feel really happy about that. I don't think I'll look back 6 months from now and go, oh wow, that was really special. I know it now. And so it's I don't know, it's been a gift. It's a gift. Everyone is wonderful and amazing in the show and in the dressing room. It's at the Hudson Theater,
Okay.
which is the oldest, newest theater on Broadway.
What does that even mean?
It means it's the oldest theater on Broadway, and it's also the newest because it just reopened after being out of use for like over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
They completely renovated it.
Are you the first show in after the renovation?
Yeah, we were the debut.
Oh, wow.
The cut the ribbon and the show.
The whole bit?
Yeah.
How long is the run?
10 weeks.
10, and that's it. Any chance of being extended?
Not right now.
Okay, that's
There's
it. So
nothing.
we're just going to say...
Right now, no. I mean, who knows? I mean, I hope that it has another life somewhere like LA, London. I'll make myself available. I will make myself available for any of those things. Or here. And, you know, I hope that it gets a chance. I feel like everyone kind of would love to like continue it in some way, somehow, whatever. But for right now, yeah. We have 8 shows left.
Tell our viewers about the show because it's such an amazing concept. And it's probably a show that I think a lot of people might not have seen the show, but probably are familiar with it.
And a lot of people who are coming haven't seen the show.
Right. So tell our viewers about the show. What is the central conceit of the show? I think it's just fascinating to me.
It's well, it won the Pulitzer.
Ooh.
And it's about the painting Sunday on the island of Le Grand Jatte, which is like in France or whatever. It's like, you know, you take
George Seurat, which is the George, right?
Yeah, exactly. George Seurat is the painter, and it's fictional. There are some true facts about his life, but the show is fictional about all the people in the painting. So he's the painter and he's the artist, and all of the people in the painting, James Lapine and Stephen Sondheim, created this beautiful story about all of these people and who they are, and I don't know, it's just, the story and the music, it just feels like it captured a moment in time, like a portal, like, do you remember Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
This isn't going to make any sense to anybody, especially people who are in theater. But do you know how in Quantum Leap he like jumps from time to time and he's like in the portal? I feel like Sunday in the Park with George is like that portal. Like it's special, like it transcends time, it transcends like it's humanity and all of those things. And I'll just, nobody will ever describe it that way. But
well, no, I mean,
it's
a very surreal concept. I mean, literally, the characters in this painting are actually the characters in the show, right? Yeah. I mean, that's, and the painting, I know in the original production, the painting was the backdrop to the show, wasn't it? Or at least part of the backdrop to the show.
It is. It's in the, the paintings are incorporated in the show and everything. But it's like, the message, you could just pull quotes. Anything you do, let it come from you, then it will be new. So, if you're like, you don't know where you fit in, let it be you. There's only one you. That expression can only come from and through you, And the only two things you leave in this world are children and art. Those are the only two things. That's it.
Wow. Okay. We're going to have to think about that. I'm going to have a little drink.
It's like mad deep, like deep.
Yeah, and the music is spectacular. I'm a huge Sondheim fan. Some of the best, some of my favorite songs come out of that soundtrack.
Sunday is my favorite song, musical theater song of all time.
Tell Me on a Sunday?
Sunday.
Sunday. Oh, yeah.
Sunday by the blue, purple, yellow, red water. That's not how we sing in the show.
Okay.
Just,
Okay. So tell me more about your background in, I understand this is your 6th Broadway show?
It is.
How do you land 6 Broadway shows?
You audition all the time. And you just don't, you just don't quit. You don't give up.
Is that really the secret? Just getting out there and auditioning all the time?
It's timing. It's, I don't know. It's all the things, People call it luck. Luck has a weird meaning to me. I don't know. But I'm also very superstitious. If I see like a tails penny, I I hop on a foot and things like that.
So one of the things that we've talked about with some of our other guests, and I think is interesting for our viewers, I have the privilege of talking to some extremely successful people on this show. And I think there's probably a lot of interest in, how do you get to this level? We've had some folks talk about, in addition to being extremely talented, you need to be reliable and professional and hardworking and all of those things. So
Yeah, you have to work hard. You just have to work hard. I mean, maybe some people don't. I haven't met them. I would like to learn their secret. I would like to work less hard at some point in my life. No, I don't know. But you have to work hard.
Even after 6 shows, you're just leaving it all out there every night.
Yes, I will say that though. That's one thing. Yes, this is the thing. You have to show up. What do you mean? You have to show up.
Like be present?
You have to show up for life. You have to show up for the audition. You have to show up. You have to show up. If you show up, it's like 90% of the battle, right? Because if you stay in bed, nothing's going to happen.
Oh, you mean physically actually get there?
I mean physically show up in life.
Wow, that's interesting.
And then when you're there, show up.
I've often told people that in my experience, 90% of success is actually just starting the project. And I guess that's kind of analogous to what you're saying. Like actually just go, just do something, be there.
And also don't, if you look too far in the future, you're going to get super overwhelmed. If you keep looking in the past, you're going to get super depressed. So, here, be there, be where you are.
So the other shows, what else have you been in?
Well, my Broadway debut was West Side Story.
Whoa.
And it was so special and wonderful and beautiful, and I booked that from an open call. And I will say that I auditioned nonstop, non-equity, like with no agent, no anything. I auditioned nonstop for a year. I could rarely get in the door. I would, it's like sing 8 bars, sing 8 bars. It means they're not. It means they're not looking, but you still show up and you sing your 8 bars. And I and you know, you learn all those things. You read all the self-help books. You take classes. You meet cool people, and then it all comes together. And then you go in for the open call, and you know, that's how I booked my Broadway debut.
So explain open call. I know there's a lot of people watching who are probably very familiar with some of these terms, but
sure.
There's a whole lexicon around theater, and especially Broadway theater in New York, in terms of auditions and their appointments and all these things. So explain some of that.
So like a friend of mine, Kate Weatherhead, made a web series called Submissions Only, and so that's like shows and roles that they're only accepting submissions only. And I mean, she could probably make another one offer only. Some people are like super, you know, they're in a place in their career where they just accept offers. There are places in the show where you just accept submissions. You're only going to see these people. There's equity calls, which is like you're part of the actors union,
right.
So they're required to see, you know, people for these roles, for the chorus and for the principals. And then there's an open call, which means anyone can go in the world, and they all do come. And so it's you and like 500 other people.
Literally like 500 other people, right?
Literally 500 people in like a New York studio. Like we held headshots and we stood circled in a line like this. All these like Hispanic, Latina, Puerto Rican, Dominican women.
For West Side Story.
For West Side Story. And we held our headshots like this, and then we got to the front of the line, which was the casting director and someone else, and they typed you in or typed you out. Looking at your picture, looking at you physically, looking at your resume.
Are you the right type for what they're looking for?
Yeah. Like,
that's it.
Are you somebody that meets some of the needs physically? And they looked at your resume too,
yeah.
So they were like, you're in, you're out.
And that's it. You haven't spoken, you haven't sung, you haven't danced.
No.
They're just looking physically. Do you meet?
Yeah. And I mean, listen, it's a specific show with certain requirements, and many are. So you just have to, you know, you roll with it. And then the girl in front of me got into like a huge argument with the casting director about why she was right for the show. And this usually never works. Maybe sometimes it does. It did not work in her case. And so I felt like angels over me, because she was in such a huge argument about why she was so right for the show. And so when he got to mine, and I don't know, he just said, "You're in." Like you could just tell
he was done.
Because he was taking a lot of time with people prior to that. And then he was just like, "You're in, you're out, you're in." Like he just started going faster. I don't know. So I was just very happy to be typed in. And I did it, you know, and I had my audition.
So once you're typed in, then you actually get to perform in some way.
Yeah.
Them.
Then you sing. You know, they were very specific about what they wanted you to sing and read. So we sang and read. You know. And
you did this for a year.
I did that for a year, nonstop.
Oh my goodness.
Truly.
Okay, but the result was
I worked as a cocktail waitress on 26th and 6th at the Rogue Bar.
Yeah.
Do you know that place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working as a cocktail waitress there. I would get off at my shift would end at 2 or 3. And I would stay and have a drink or whatever. And then about 4 a.m., I would walk over to Chelsea Studios. This was not all the time, this is pretty often, and start the unofficial non-equity sign-up list on the board. And I would start, and I would a couple of my friends, and I would start it for them, they would start it for me, go tape it up there, see if they'll honor it, the next morning.
Right.
So then I would go home to Forest Hills, Queens, which is where I lived. I would sleep for 3 hours, get back on the train, go back to Chelsea Studios by, 9, 10 a.m.
Right.
And see if they were going to honor it, see if they were going to see me, and I could audition that day.
When you mean honor the sign up from the night before. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Because,
They don't have to.
No, it's unofficial.
So, okay, so...
Oh, this is taking me back.
Well, no, but this is fascinating to me, and I think it's something that's...
Taking me back.
It's so unique to trying to make it in New York. I mean, it's completely different from regional theater auditions or community theater auditions or even open calls.
Yeah.
It's this really weird process, a lot of which is dictated by the union, where they require a lot of these things, like EP equity, principal auditions and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So it's this whole weird kind of universe that you have to live in that I think that a lot of people who haven't gone through it, it's probably very overwhelming, right?
It's just like breaking through, It's just like getting through to, getting your union card or getting your first Broadway show. I feel like once you get your first Broadway show, you'll get more auditions. And then you'll have a new set of challenges that you'll face. But when you're in that area before it, it really is like
just pulling yourself up literally by your own bootstraps.
It was for me. It's not for everyone. And now, now the kids, these young kids these days, now they have showcases, which my school started doing it like a couple years after I left.
Where
they
did
have
you
a
go?
showcase. I went to Oklahoma City University.
Oh, cool.
In Oklahoma City, it was great. I loved it.
Good program?
Great program. Kristen Chenoweth and Kelly O'Hara came from there. And so,
Good program.
Excellent. And but they started doing showcase, so now the seniors from the graduating class do a showcase for agents and managers. So a lot of these seniors have agents and managers coming to the city, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It helps.
Yeah.
You know?
So you actually booked a Broadway show from an open call, which I know just from the people that I know, that's extremely rare. So,
It's probably more rare.
Yeah. But now once you're booked, you get your equity card.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And that allows you to go to a whole other type of audition, which is the equity auditions, right? Which are from then on.
Yeah, but I mean, when you get your first show, then you meet people who, everybody has their cards, everyone has an agent. So then somebody says, oh, I'll introduce you to my agent. Okay, great. Or, an agent comes to the show. Oh, I saw you. And then, so then you get your agent. And then it just falls. Things fall more easily into place as opposed to this kind of, struggle.
Right, once you have that sort of network in place.
Yeah, it's just, it kind of just opens the door. It's kind of like the door was locked and, you knew, and you finally found the key, which you probably always had somewhere, like that's what Eckhart Tolle would say. And then you found the key and then you were able to open it. Or maybe the key was in the door the whole time and you finally figured out how to turn it.
Right.
That's probably better.
No, which I get because the lock on my door turns the wrong way and for like a year I couldn't figure out how to get my own apartment.
Struggled.
Right, I know.
And then you finally got all clicked together and you were just like, I just need to turn it the other way.
And I love that analogy. That's fabulous. Now, how many of your 6 Broadway shows were a result of you worked with a bunch of people that loved you and then they moved on to another project and they wanted you to be on board? Or were you starting from scratch pretty much every time?
No, you just you'll make relationships and so you'll get, maybe a casting director will see you and, and then they'll say, oh, I saw you in this. You seem right for this. And, so much of it is about type and the needs of the show. And that's something important to remember so that you don't take everything so personally.
Right, and that's something that I always try and talk to the folks that I work with, is that you can audition 100 times a week, and if you're not auditioning for parts that you're right for, you're not going to get the job, and you actually should be happy that you don't because you don't want to get a job that you're not right for, right?
Exactly. And, there are so many things that are out of our control.
Right.
You can only control what you can control. And I mean, listen, trust your gut, always, do those things. Do your best. But what are you going to do? You can't do it. We can't do everything.
So I want to talk about now why I opened the program with France and Latin America.
Yeah.
Because I understand you have an amazing story about another show that you were in, On Your Feet.
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, tell us real quick about that show.
Okay, it's the story about the life of Gloria and Emilio Estefan. And it's their songbook, and it's beautiful, and I loved being a part of that show. And it's like family, and it's at the Marriott Marquis, so come see it.
Up now also.
Yes, now.
Yeah, right, now.
So I think it was 2 weeks ago, Tuesday night, I was eating dinner, and it was, Tuesday nights are a 7 o'clock show.
Right.
So I like to be at the theater at 6.
Okay.
So it was.
And this is for Sunday in the Park.
Sunday in the Park with George. I play the nurse. I was feeling nursey in my apartment in Queens. So I see a call from the stage manager from On Your Feet, and I thought, what is this? I wonder why he's calling.
Now you were in the show though, right? At some point.
I was in On Your Feet before Sunday in the Park with George.
Right.
So I see it, and I think, why is he calling me? Because he always if you get a call, usually he texts. But if you get a call, it means I need you here, something important, especially that close to showtime. And I was like, okay, and I answered, and he's like, hey, Jennifer, just so you know, it's already been worked out. we're going to need you to come to On Your Feet tonight. It was almost 5 o'clock. So I was about to leave my house anyway. But he's like, we're going to need you to come to On Your Feet tonight. People got stuck in Miami. They had this event. There was people stuck in Miami because of fog. Like,
in Miami?
Yes.
Okay.
And I think, like, they tried to get the fog lifted. I think there were some prayers. Nothing worked. And the plane does not fly in the fog. So,
right. I don't think Miami's known for its thick fog, but
is it?
I don't know. But I never thought of it. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't either. So it was very like, I was like, what? So all these people were stuck in Miami. They didn't have enough people to do the show.
And so you get the call. Okay.
And so they called me, and they called my friend Eric, who hadn't done the show in months. He'd left the show like a while ago, but he was free that night. And they called him and said, can you come? And they called me, and they called the producers at Sunday in the Park with George.
Oh, you're kidding me, to get the whole thing?
Just to work it out, so that they said, could we please, borrow her for the night so that we can do the show? And they said yes, and people call this Broadway thing a community, and it is. It totally is.
And so you went on
Yeah.
with no rehearsal.
No.
How long had you been since you'd done the show?
Months.
So you and another principal went on with no rehearsal,
Yeah.
and the show happened that night.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to try to rehearse. There's not time. And, I was just like, I'm just going to trust that it's going to come back to me. And I think I had one moment of sheer panic. Like, I was just like, my whole body felt like frozen in time. Like, one moment. And then after that one moment, the rest of the show just came all back, flooding back. It was like I'd never left.
And it was a good show.
It was a great show, except for after the opening number, because like it's way more physically active and there's more. All I do in Sunday Park with George is like sit on a bench, carry benches and sit and talk and sing, and just like walk around a stage. And On Your Feet is not like that. So after the first number, I was just like, might puke, might puke. I'm not gonna puke. Great, okay, go. Let's do the next number. So that was it.
That is an amazing story. I have to choose you. I love everything about that story.
It was so much fun. It was exhilarating, and I don't know. It was just wild, and I was just like, this is. You can't dream up stuff like that, and it's just like, and the Julie Fuldesai went on for me at Sunday in the Park with George, and she was stunning, and the girls sent me a video, and it was just wild and good. Why not?
Yeah, and so I worked for a long time in regional theater outside of New York City.
Yes.
And what I found is there's this odd competitiveness among some of the regional theaters that I work with, where they kind of viewed each other as competition. And I always tried to tell them, like, if you go to New York, Broadway, like, theater begets theater, and it's like, it is really this one big community. And from stories like that to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, to the...
We are raising so much money, we're totally gonna beat Waitress. Oh, sorry.
No, I mean, it's amazing. It really is this family, and it's huge, and it's massive, and it's this incredibly high level, and it's very competitive.
I think exactly what you said, good begets good.
Yeah, good begets good.
Yeah, and it's like, we're living in a golden age of TV, and we're living in a golden age of theater.
Yeah.
And the more, the better. And everyone can come see all this wonderful theater. And isn't it wonderful that you're like, there's so many good things to see, I don't know what to see tonight.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of Broadway, is that it's all right here. Okay, so now we have France, George Seurat, and Paris, and we have Latin America, Hemingway, and we're going to now do the second drink, but I would like for you to make this drink.
Done.
Is that okay?
Done.
Yeah, you got a cocktail. Did you ever bartend or just cocktail?
I did, but not that much. I only bartended on brunch.
Cool. So we're going to do a Hemingway daiquiri.
Okay, yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right, so let's switch places.
Wait, I do it all by myself?
Yeah, you're going to do it all by yourself. I'm going to talk you through it.
Okay.
Here, you come right here. Hemingway daiquiri is a variation of a classic daiquiri, which is really just a rum sour, and that's just rum, lime juice, and simple syrup. Yeah, so first thing I want you to do is go ahead and fill that tin up about 2/3 of the way with ice. Yep, and then, yep, beautiful. And so the interesting thing is that Ernest Hemingway was diabetic, and he used to drink daiquiris all the time, in Cuba usually.
That's bad for him, right?
Well, it is because of the simple syrup. So he told his bartender, can you make me a daiquiri that doesn't have sugar in it? And bless his heart, the bartender said sure, and took the sugar out and put in maraschino liqueur, which is cherry liqueur.
It's like sugar crack.
Which is loaded with sugar.
It's like cherry crack sugar.
Yeah, but for the rest of his life, he drank that thinking, well, it's better because he wasn't putting the actual sugar, because back then you would actually put sugar in the drink.
Mind over matter.
It worked. All right, so we're gonna make a classic Hemingway daiquiri.
Okay.
And I want you to grab the Bacardi rum.
Okay.
And you're gonna make me one, so we're gonna double this recipe. So it's
Okay.
gonna be 4 ounces, 2 ounces per drink.
Should I
so,
just like?
No, I want you to just free
jigger
pour
it?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, I want you to just pour
Wait,
and
tell
count
me,
to 8.
8.
Turn it straight upside
1,
down.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I love when dancers do this because you guys just have the rhythm right in your head. That's it.
I should have done it like in the Latin rhythm.
So we want to go 4-to-1 with the maraschino liqueur. So right next to that bottle is going to be the maraschino cherry liqueur.
Oh, wait, this?
Nope, it's right next to the Bacardi. That's it. Yeah, it's the weird looking one. Yeah, and that's actually cherry flavored liqueur. And you're going to do 1 ounce, which is a 2 count.
Okay.
Yep. 1,
2.
2. That's it. Perfect. And now we need some lime juice, and I like lots of fresh lime in the daiquiri. So you can take each of those, do about 1 full lime per drink. So we're gonna do 4. Flat side goes down. Yep, just like that.
I knew that.
And then squeeze that right over.
I so knew that.
1.
Wow, I need one of these.
I know, those are amazing.
Chefin.
Yeah, they're really great.
Chefin.
You just throw that right over there.
Chef apostrophe in, I'm getting that. Because I have one of those like, ones where you just like do it by kind of, there's just a lot more labor.
Yeah, this one has like a nice lever action. I actually just like squeezing them with my hands, but whatever.
I like this.
And the last one, so now we have 3, so that's a lime and a half. We're gonna do 1 more, so it's 1 full lime per drink. The last one, I want you to take out and hold it up so our viewers can see all the beautiful lime oils on the skin. Yeah, just go ahead and pull that out. Here, you can see all the beautiful lime oils on that skin. And we actually want that flavor of the lime in the drink, so we're gonna drop that in there.
Okay.
All right, put that on top of that. Pull it to one side. You know how to do this. Shake it like you mean it. I love it. Yeah, you've done this before. Come on. Sandbagging me. Good. So you want to shake it until there's a nice coating of frost on the tin, and you got that. You are really very good at this. Fabulous. You know how to get it. That's okay. Great. Strainer. I'm not going to teach you how to use it. You know how to do all of this. Go. Look at you. Go ahead and strain that right in there.
Well.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I had to teach my son how to do this because I just wanted to have him. I wanted also him to have like a skill that's useful.
Well, this is absolutely a skill that's useful, especially between open call auditions. This is a nice thing to be able to do.
Exactly.
All right. So why don't we just garnish that with a slice of fresh
They're so
lime.
beautiful.
That's it. And 1 is yours and 1 is mine.
I'll give you the froth.
Thank you. This is beautiful. I love all that frost on the top and those ice chips. Cheers. Let's see what we think.
Salud.
Salud. Oh, that's great. See, nice and tart.
Perfect.
Yeah, right?
And tart. And no wonder he thought there was no sugar because it's very, very subtle.
It's extremely subtle and it's tart, and that cherry kind of gets up under there and makes it almost taste sweet.
Yeah.
Just because you associate sweet with cherry.
Yep.
Yep. I love it. Well done.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, thanks for coming. Thanks for the wonderful stories and all the tremendous insight into how to string together 6 Broadway shows. I just can't tell you how impressed I am because I know there are so many people that I work with, they get their first Broadway show and they're like, I've made it.
Yes.
And then you have to keep working, right? And you do.
And so it's been a
it's really
been a good journey, and I hope it continues because I love it. You know.
Well, it's really impressive. Websites for the shows and also yourself.
I'm actually at Jennifer Sanchez, JENNI, the number 4.
Oh, that's adorable.
On Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. Or Henny Sanchez on Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm launching a YouTube channel this Sunday.
What is a YouTube channel on?
Well, my first YouTube will be an acoustic cover of Sunday.
Oh, I
from
love
Sunday,
it.
because I play. So it's just gonna be like a chill, like jazz music, originals, and some like jazz covers.
And
So
Sunday in the
it's
Park with
launching.
George, how they find that?
Sunday in the Park with George,
Yeah,
or
so
at Sunday Broadway.
At Sunday Broadway.
At Sunday Broadway.
Great.
For Twitter.
Good. And On Your
And,
Feet also,
yeah.
we definitely want people to go see that.
Yes, at On Your Feet Broadway.
I love it. Folks, BroadwayBartender.com. Check us out. There'll be recipes, previews to upcoming episodes. Jennifer Sanchez, thank you so much.
you.
It has been a pleasure.
So lovely.
Cheers. Drink well. Drink responsibly.
I'm obsessed with this drink.
It's good, isn't it?
It's so good.
I know.
Why
It's
is it
really
so
good. I know. It's the cherry. It's like fantastic. Did you like that?
You're gonna cut it, right? I talk too much.
No way. Your story. Oh, the stories were great.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no.